There are 4 sources of evaluation for this class. The first and most important are the 3 exams or essays worth 25% each. You can choose whether to take the exam or write the essay. The difference basically is whether you want a timed opportunity to discuss what you've learned in class or whether you'd like a longer time period with a more structured way of discussing the course material. The second form of evaluation is the consciousness journals, and they're worth 10%. There's a long description for the consciousness journals under consciousness journal number 1 on Canvas. So you should read this and start thinking about the first question. The first question is, am I conscious now? And that's what you'll do for the first journal. For the remaining journals, you'll have several questions that you can choose from. The assignment is to pick one of the questions to write your journal on, and then write 3 entries on that one question. So as I say, the first journal question is chosen for you. After that, you'll choose one question. You'll ask yourself several times over the course of some period to think about that question and ask yourself that question, and then you'll sit down and write 3 entries based on all of the times that you've asked yourself that question. Be sure to date your entries so that you've asked yourself so that your writing episodes are at 3 different times. It's no good to sit down and write 3 entries right after another, because then you're not doing a lot of reflection on your conscious experience with respect to that question. So write 3 different times, and then pay attention to the criteria in the rubric. The most important is to complete the assignment, but then also to be reflective about it, to think about how it relates to the issues that we've been discussing in class. The due dates for the journal are listed on the syllabus. So you'll post your journal assignment on Canvas in advance of the due date for the journal. The third evaluation is the final reflection. That's worth 5%. That's the end of the class. This assignment is going to give you a chance to think about your view on consciousness. What have you learned about consciousness over the course? Has your view changed? That assignment is already listed on Canvas, so you can go and look at that if you'd like information about that now. And then fourth, course participation is worth 10%. Participation is based on attendance and your contributions to class discussion, as well as written homework assignments. Canvas posts also count as participation, so you can ask questions in advance of class about a lecture. You can post a link to a related video or article, or make a comment that you might not have had a chance to make in class. Class discussion sometimes gets really exciting, and we run out of time, and so if there's something that you didn't get a chance to say during class, you can post that comment on Canvas after class, or maybe a day or 2 afterwards you think of something that you would have liked to say or is relevant to class discussion. Go ahead and post that on Canvas, and that will count towards your participation grade. This is a general ed course, and there are 2 general ed objectives that we'll be exploring in this class. The first is critical and analytic thinking. We'll be analyzing texts and the views of others in discussion and our own personal experience. We'll be giving reasons in support of a view and responding to the views of others and their objections. Looking at assumptions behind each view is also important to critical thinking. And then a synthesis of information related to our views about consciousness. And that's also related to the second general education objective, which is integrative thinking. And here in integrative thinking, we are synthesizing information from multiple disciplines. So we'll be looking at philosophy material, obviously, but also looking at neuroscience, AI research, animal science, and integrating those different disciplines and those views from those different places. We'll also be applying our personal experience to the questions of consciousness and the material about consciousness that we've learned, mostly through your journal exercises, but also through class discussions. And we'll be applying these theories to different situations, to the minds of other people and to ourselves, to animals, to robots. So thinking about the theories of consciousness and how and whether they work in relation to these other kinds of situations. My office hours are listed on the syllabus. I'm also happy to make an appointment with you outside of class time. The office hours are rarely convenient for everybody, sometimes convenient for no one. So let me know if you want to make an appointment. The best way to contact me is through email. I check about once a day, so plan ahead if you need to get in touch. If there's some kind of emergency, you can try to be in touch with the philosophy department and they can get a message to me. In terms of academic integrity, don't cheat. It'll be difficult to cheat in this class, but if I find that you have committed plagiary, I will hold you accountable. I will file the form for that, so don't do it. In terms of academic integrity, there aren't any particularly controversial areas of topics in this class, but we'll be discussing our views on consciousness, and I have views. I will make my views clear, but you don't have to agree with me in terms of my view of consciousness. The important thing, what you'll be evaluated on, are the ability to support your views with reasons and examples, to consider objections, to convey an understanding of the course material. These are the criteria on which you'll be judged, and not whether or not you agree with me about consciousness. So you get your own views, I get my own views, and we'll be discussing how to support those views effectively through reasons and examples and evidence. In terms of access issues, let me know if there's any way that I can make class more suitable to you. If you have difficulties with reading or writing, philosophy is a very particular sort of field, and you may find that doesn't work for you, and so let me know, and I can try to help you develop skills in analytic reading and writing. Maybe tech is an issue and you're having problems watching the videos or anything like that. Let me know and we'll see what we can do. Extended absences can sometimes be an issue if you're out for just once or twice every so often, then that shouldn't be a problem for your participation grade. But if you're out for a long period of time for one reason or another, then let me know and we can try to find some way to deal with that with respect to your participation grade, so that you don't get too behind in the class and that you can stay